guys, today I'm filming my Hit It or Quit It thoughts on hauls number 50. I cannot believe I have been doing this for 50 months now, but I really love this series and I hope you guys aren't tired of it either. If you're unfamiliar with this series, basically I am going to review all the products I featured in a haul video 10 months back to let you know my current thoughts on those products. I'll have my playlist linked down below in case you would like to see other of these, and my inspiration for this series was It's Kirsten and her What I Thought on Stuff I Bought series. I will have her channel and her playlist linked down below. I will also link down below the original haul video and list and link all the items that I have mentioned. There are a ton of products in this video, so I'm going to get started and try to be quick with my thoughts. So if you want to know more about the actual deals that I got all of these things on, check out the video. I'm just going to be reviewing the products today. So I'm going to start by talking about some things I had gotten from Ulta. The first was free with a coupon. This is the NARS Pore and Shine Control Primer. I have not tried this yet, but this is going to be in my fall project pan coming up in about a month or so, so I will be able to review this for you soon. Then I had gotten quite a few things from Maybelline on a really good deal, and I had tried the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in 5 Fair. It was the first time I had ever tried this powder, and it is amazing. So it is tinted. They don't make a translucent one, which is a bit of a bummer, but I love the tint of this. The shade matches my skin tone really well. This also helps give some pretty good coverage. It sets my foundation perfectly, and it does help keep me matte, but it isn't an overly mattifying powder, so I think this could work well for a lot of people. I know a lot of people enjoy this on their under eyes. I haven't tried it under my eyes yet. I only use it on my face, and right now I am using this powder mixed in with my Too Faced Peach Perfect, which is a fantastic powder, but it oxidizes and it looks too dark. So mixing in some of this really helps. So I like this on its own, but it does mix really well with other powders. This is holy grail to me now, and I'll definitely repurchase. And I used to be so much more of a pressed powder person, but over the years I love loose powder so much more, and I do apply this all over my face with a damp beauty sponge. So this is definitely a favorite of mine. Another powder I had purchased and used up was the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Powder in the shade Porcelain, and this powder is amazing. It doesn't look like you get a ton of product in there, but you totally do. And out of all the pressed powders, even though there's so many that I absolutely love, this is the one I would purchase over all of them. I actually tried this one day as a powder foundation. I applied some primer, concealer, and then I used the little sponge that came with it, and it gave really nice coverage and looked beautiful. And I'm someone who never uses powder foundation, but I really like the way it looked. It did set my skin nicely without looking heavy or cakey. It's a great formula powder, and it actually lasted me quite a while. Beautiful product, holy grail for me as well. Definitely will repurchase. I had purchased 2 Maybelline concealers that fit me in the shade Fair. Since then, Maybelline has extended their shade range to 1 shade lighter and quite a few deeper shades. The lighter shade actually looks light enough for me, but I will not be purchasing this because I don't love this concealer. I know a lot of people love this concealer. It's very popular on YouTube, but it does not work for me. For me, it gives a light coverage. The shade that I had been using was too dark for my skin tone, and it has more of a glowy finish. I prefer a medium to full coverage concealer under my eyes, but I'm pretty good with medium because I don't have a ton of darkness. But I do prefer concealers that have more of a satin finish because I have a very oily under eye area. So for me, it did not do enough to consider repurchasing it. So that is a no-go for me, even though I am happy that they added some more shades. Then I had gotten the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the Brightener shade. This is more of a pinky tone, and it is definitely too pink for me. I cannot use this as a concealer on its own. I do have to put a little bit of something over top because it looks way too pink, especially if I apply this down the center of my face. Then my overall complexion looks way too pink. And I have also tried out the new lightest shade in this concealer, and it is too dark for me to highlight, but it matches my skin tone well. I'm so bummed they don't make my shade in this because this is an amazing formula. It is a really thin consistency, but it does give good medium coverage. It's easy to blend out. A lot of people don't like this sponge, but I think it's what makes this product so great. It just blends so easily. I love this product, and I would recommend it for a ton of people, but not for people that are fair, because I have not found a shade that works well for me. so this is not something that I will be repurchasing, unfortunately, but in the future, if they extend the shade range even more, I'll be super appreciative. And then I had gotten 3 freebies with that. One of them was the Garnier Skin Active Moisture Balm, and I've actually used up one of these and I got another of these. This is a fantastic daytime moisturizer for oily skin. Hydrates just enough without making your skin feel too greasy. This is actually the closest dupe I've ever found to the Believe True Cream Aqua Balm. Now, I don't want to be blasphemous, and I love the Believe one, but it is very expensive. So once I use up a lot of the other moisturizers in my collection, I think I will buy this one in the full size because I love the way it worked for my skin, and I do believe it to be a dupe for the Believe. The other one was the Clinique Moisture Surge Extended Thirst Relief. I just recently finished that one up, and that is actually a great nighttime moisturizer for oily skin. I felt very hydrated, but it sunk into the skin, so it didn't feel heavy or greasy. So out of all of the nighttime moisturizers that I've tried, that Clinique one is actually one of my favorites, and I would consider repurchasing it. But there are so many Clinique Moisture Surge ones, and I've tried quite a few of them. This one is my favorite above the rest. The other freebie I had gotten was the Origins Checks and Balances Frothy Face Wash. I have not tried this yet. As you can see, I have a ton of cleanser backups. It takes me forever to work through cleansers, but I hear a lot of people rave about this, so I cannot wait to test this out and give you guys my thoughts in the future in one of my sample project pan videos. And I had purchased the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Fair. I had a coupon, I cashed in points, so I got this for a great price. This concealer is amazing. Very full coverage. It has a satin finish. I love using this for my under eyes. I do want to try to find a shade of this for blemishes perhaps, because I think I would really like the formula for that. I think this is totally worth the hype and worth the money, especially if you can get it on sale. Holy grail, and I would definitely continue to repurchase this. It is worth the money because it lasts forever. You have a ton in this tube. Along with that Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, I had a coupon code to get a free mini of the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Liner, and this is a felt tip applicator. It was my first time trying the product. I do think it's actually really good. It has a really nice black pigment. It's really easy to apply the line and also do the wing. So I love the formula of this, but because it is a felt tip applicator, it definitely dried out a lot quicker than the brush tip liquid liners that I tend to use. So it is not something I would repurchase because I just want liners to last longer, but I did really enjoy the formula of that one, and it was a nice matte black. And the last thing I had gotten from Ulta was the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I did recently do an entire palette of the month review video on this, which I will have linked up in the cards if you want to hear more in-depth thoughts. But basically, I think the formula is pretty good. I do like the foils in this palette. They're really intense. The mattes are buildable, but I wish they had a little bit more intense pigment from the jump. I do like that she added some brights. I think the brights she chose work really well with all the warm tone colors. She has some really pretty cool tone lid shades and very, very dark outer corner colors, but no cool tone transition crease shades for my skin tone, so I wasn't able to get a full cool tone look. So I would have appreciated it if she took out a couple of those warm tone mattes for a couple of cool tone mattes so we could have a full complete palette. This does not offer anything new to my collection. I'm not going to get rid of this, but if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have purchased it because it's not a necessity in my collection. Although I do think it would be a good beginner palette or a good gift to give someone that is just starting to do makeup, because you have a ton of what you could need in this palette, and you can create a full look except for a matte brow bone highlight if you're fair. I had gotten one thing from Sephora, which was the Anastasia liquid lipstick in the shade Allison. This is part of a weekly wow, so this was on sale for I think $12 instead of the $20, and this was a limited edition holiday shade from 2016, but they have since added it to the permanent line, and I swear that this color is different than the one that they released at holiday. But I also think that it looks like this really pretty like raspberry color here, but when you swatch it, it looks so much more of like a muted red rose color with a little bit of brown. I think it's very pretty, but not what it looks like in the packaging. I remember wearing this in a video last winter and it was really pretty. So it's not how it appears in the tube, but I do like the color it ends out being. I do also really like the Anastasia liquid lipstick formula. It does dry down completely to a powdery finish, so your lips will feel a little bit dry, and this can flake off a little bit, but I really do enjoy the formula. I think Anastasia has a bunch of really pretty shades. So this is a wasn't a must-have for me, but I don't regret buying it. Next was a gift from Beauty by Brittany M. She had decluttered some products in her collection and she sent this one to me. This is the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. So this is basically Urban Decay's version of a pore filling primer. First off, this is ginormous. This is 0.95 fluid ounces. They do make a half size of this, which I definitely recommend buying because this might go bad or dry out by the time you use it all up. This is a very thick pore filling primer. It's really different from a lot of others that I've tried, and I don't know, I don't think that people with more dry skin would like this because it is so thick and a little drying, but it does blur pores really nicely. But because of this really thick texture, I don't think it would mesh well with all primers or moisturizers. So I'm happy that I have this and I think it's a good one, but it isn't my most favorite pore filling primer. And now I had a bunch of products I had gotten from my friend Amanda Alexander. I will have her channel and Brittany's linked down below. The first one is my most favorite pore filling primer, the Dr. Brandt Pores No More. I did use up the one that she sent me, but I have gotten a few more minis since then, and I did recently buy the full size for an amazing price. It was like 75% off, which is incredible. But this is my favorite pore filling primer. It is a super thin consistency, works well with all other primers and moisturizers, but it actually fills in my pores, blurs them out, and I think this would work well for all skin types. So this is definitely a holy grail of mine, and it was really because of Amanda sending this one to me that I fell in love and realized how amazing it was. Amanda had also sent me the Rimmel hashtag Instafix matte powder. I have since used that one up. You don't get a ton of product in the container. It did do a nice job of mattifying my skin, but it wasn't the best at mattifying. It also was a little bit brightening, so I don't think it would work for deep skin tones. I think it would have a little bit of a white cast, and over that one, I definitely prefer my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, which Amanda sent to me as well. This is the translucent shade. I do like this to set my most oily areas, and I also love this to touch up throughout the day because it doesn't make me look cakey and it helps keep me matte for a long period of time, and I find that to be pretty unique. Either touch-up powders look too dry and cakey, or I get oily again in 10 minutes. So this is the absolute most perfect touch-up powder for me, so I would prefer this one over the hashtag Instafix and Matte. Amanda also sent me the Maybelline Colossal Chaotic Mascara, which is a really thick brush that gives you great volume. I love the Maybelline mascaras. That one is a good one, but my favorite would be the Maybelline Colossal Cat Eyes for length and the Maybelline Falsies Original for volume. I love pairing the two of those together to get my perfect lashes, but the Colossal Chaotic was a really good one as well. I'm not sure if that one's still available though, but it was really nice. Then I had gotten a bunch of lip products, some of which I have decluttered to friends, and then there are others that I still have now. The first two I have would be some minis of the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lips in the shade Be Merry and Beeper. I love Beeper. It is such a unique color, and I really love getting minis of liquid lipsticks because I never use up a full size, and the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lips are definitely more of a drying formula. It does set completely, but it can get a little flaky. It's not my most favorite formula, but they do have a lot of beautiful shades and I do like these. The next one I have is the Lorac Alter Ego Lip Gloss in the shade Goddess, which is a really pretty dusty purple. This is such a pretty shade, and this is a great formula. It is super pigmented. It doesn't feel heavy on the lips, but it has a little bit of thickness to make it stick around for a while, which is nice because when you have a really pigmented gloss, you don't want it slip sliding, but it also isn't sticky. So I do like this formula a lot, and this is something that I do want to try to pan next year. And then, as I said, there are a couple things that she had given me that I have decluttered to friends. The first would be the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in Bash. I had yet to try a really sparkly gloss, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity, and it was. It was a pretty color, but unfortunately the ColourPop glosses with shimmer to me feel really gritty on my lips, and they tend to really irritate my lips, so I did not keep that one. She sent me the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Gloss in Forbidden Kiss. I actually really do like that formula. I think it's really unique. It almost has like a numbing feeling on my lips, which is really weird. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. It's not bad, but it's like a weird sensation. It's a super comfortable formula, and like it is a matte gloss. It looks more like a satin. It is sort of comparable to the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lips perhaps, but it might transfer a little bit more than those. But definitely does transfer, but it isn't super glossy looking. They're really, really pigmented, so I think that is a nice product. I wish they just had some more shades. Then she sent me the CoverGirl Kitty Cat Matte Lipstick in Kitty Purry, which is a really pretty mauve purple color, and I just didn't love that shade on my skin tone as much as I thought I would. I'm really particular about mauve colors, and I don't know what it is about the difference between them, but just some of them look good and some of them don't, and that one I didn't love the most on me. And I don't like the scent of CoverGirl lipsticks, and the formula for me is just kind of blah. And then she had sent me a couple nail polishes. This is from the brand Celestial called Riding the Yuletide. I reviewed this one last month, I believe, in my monthly favorites and product updates. It was a really pretty polish. It looks a little bit more unique in the bottle and more special. Inside, it just kind of looks like a teal polish or a turquoise polish, but when you're outside in the sun, you can see a lot more of the reflect in it. So I think this is pretty, but it didn't rock my world necessarily. And then Amanda sent me 3 of the ColourPop nail polishes. I also reviewed these in a monthly favorites and product updates. The colors I have is Pixelated, which is this blue. I have First Wings First, which is a lavender, and I have Dust a Dream, which is a mint. These are amazing polishes, opaque in 2 coats. They wear really well. I like the brush, and I really wish ColourPop would do nail polishes again. I think they just released basic colors everyone had, and even though these are more spring polishes, they released them closer to summer, so I think it was just wrong colors, wrong time. But I was really impressed with the formula, and I'm really happy to have these in my collection because I know I'm going to reach for them a ton in the springtime. Then Amanda had sent me quite a few skincare products as well. Some of them I've used up, some of them I haven't touched yet, unfortunately. So the first 2 products would be the Boscia Subaki Oil Infused Exfoliating Powder, which I have not tried yet, and the Boscia Subaki Beauty Oil, which I also have not tried. Whenever I watch these videos, especially skincare, I'm like, oh, Heather, get on it, but I don't open up a bunch of things at once. I only open like one of a certain kind of product until I use it up, but I definitely do want to try those out and share my thoughts. I've seen a lot of those pop up at TJ Maxx and also on the Sephora sales section of their website. Then she had also sent me the Dr. Brandt Needles No More 3D Volumizing Mask. Have not tried yet, but I definitely will. Also the Algenist Complete Eye Renewal Balm. I've tried a foil sample of this and I thought it was pretty good. Right now I'm using a little deluxe sample of the Belief Moisturizing Eye Balm. Once I finish that one, I will start using this one, but from what I've tried in that little sample, this was a really nice product. Really moisturizing, but it didn't disturb makeup over top of it, so I did quite enjoy that product. Then she had also sent me the Caudalie Premier Crew, the eye cream, which I did use up. That was a huge size. Even though Caudalie is so expensive with their skincare, their little minis actually come with quite a bit of product. I did not really find much results from that eye cream at all. It wasn't even super moisturizing, just a little bit hydrating. However, I have heard from some other people that it is really fantastic, so it didn't do much for me, but I know a lot of people do enjoy that one. I prefer the Caudalie Resveratrol Lift Eye Lifting Balm. That feels a little bit more serumy and really smooth and hydrating under the eyes. Then she sent me the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Face Moisturizer. I have not used this one yet, but I will be using this during this winter season when my skin gets a little bit more dry. And the last thing she sent me was the Boscia Revitalizing Black Hydration Gel, which I have used up completely. I just recently finished that. It is a great daytime moisturizer for oily skin. It has a really nice scent to it. It feels refreshing, sinks in quickly, gives a perfect amount of moisture. So that is something that I would consider buying in the future because I was really impressed with the product. Then I had won a giveaway for a color clutch, which is a nail polish display and holder, and I also had won a bunch of different Julie G nail polishes from Jessie's Girl, and I've tried some of them but not all of them, and I was impressed with the ones that I tried, and they were really, really pretty colors. So if you want to see what the colors were and what the color clutch looks like, make sure you check out the original video, but unfortunately I haven't tried all of them yet. I have quite a few untried polishes in my collection, which is a shame, but I was really excited to win that giveaway because that fall collection looked stunning, so I need to make myself use them. And the color clutch is such a cool product and really fun for display, so definitely make sure you check out the video to see those things. And then I had my Sephora playbacks of the month. The perfume was Chanel Gabrielle. I didn't like that one, so I either passed it on or trashed it. I haven't really found any Chanel fragrances that I like. Most of them have too much of like a baby powder undertone to them that I don't enjoy. Then I had gotten a little mini of the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in the shade R230. It is too dark for me, so I did give that one to my sister. I have done a first impression and follow-up on this foundation in my correct shade, which is Y215. I'll have it linked up in the cards. But basically, I didn't like this foundation. It has like no coverage, and also it's way too dewy for my oily skin. So all around, it isn't something I liked at all, except the shade match was freaking perfect. The only good thing about that product for me. Then I had gotten the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Skin Booster Hydro Plump Serum. This is something I'm working on right now in my sample project pan, using it as my daytime serum, and I was afraid it would be a little too hydrating for the summertime, but it doesn't seem to be. I do like the consistency of this. The packaging is very luxe, but I have yet to really find a serum that I think is amazing enough that I would repurchase it, but I don't mind using it. The next thing is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I have not tried this one yet, but I have tried a little sample of it, a foil sample, and it did give some glow to the skin. It was moisturizing, but it didn't really do much for me, so I'll be happy to use that one up, but I don't see myself repurchasing it. However, I have tried the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and I prefer that one much more. That does give more glow, but it doesn't make me too oily, which is really impressive. So if I had to pick one over the other, I would pick the Backlight. Then I had gotten a little mini of the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I've since used that up. I've gotten more minis. I purchased a travel size of it. It is such a good powder, and I have very oily under eyes, so I really enjoy that one. I do think it could be drying on some people, and it can emphasize lines and look a little cakey. Most people say it doesn't, but I think it can. It's not bad, but of course I don't have a ton of wrinkling under my eyes right now, very fortunately, but I also think it can darken my concealer a bit. So I really love it. I will hopefully get some more samples, but I am currently using the Dermablend Translucent Loose Setting Powder, and I like that one a little bit more. It does have a bit of a white cast, which works well for me because it helps brighten under my eyes. Because with the Laura Mercier, I might have a concealer that's nice and brightening, but when I set it with that, it doesn't end up looking much lighter than my skin tone, so it conceals, but my under eyes don't look bright any longer. So I'm not sure yet. Once I finish up the Dermablend, I'll be able to decide basically whether I'm going to purchase the Laura Mercier or the Dermablend, but I do enjoy that product overall, and I haven't used it to set my entire face because I don't want to waste it because it's so expensive, but it is a product I really enjoy. Then I had a mini of the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. Those are so intensely metallic and beautiful. They blend out into the skin really easily if you haven't set your foundation yet. I did recently pass that on to my friend Ami because the color was just way too dark for my skin tone. Unfortunately, it was a super beautiful shade, but way too dark and did not look cute, but it is really intense, and I would be interested in trying others. And the last thing I had was a PR product from Pixi. It was their Glow Tonic To Go pads. These are not my favorite. The pads are a little bit flimsy and they have no texture to them really, and I mean it's a little bit, but it isn't very much. And I have tried other cleansing pads in the past, the Clearasil Rapid Action pads, and also the Walmart version of those, and I like them so much more. They feel definitely stronger. They do sting the skin a little bit, but for me I feel like that means the product is working, and I feel like it can actually exfoliate my skin a little bit. But if you like something that is more gentle, the Glow Tonic To Go pads are good for that, whether you're using them as a toner or after you remove your makeup with maybe a makeup wipe and you're feeling a little greasy to get off that product. But if you have sensitive skin, they might be good, but for me they didn't do enough that I would consider repurchasing them. So guys, I hope that wasn't too long or me talking too quick, but I had a lot of things to discuss, and those are all of the items for this Hit It or Quit It thoughts on hauls. I would love to know your thoughts if you've tried out any of the products in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.